What's up, YouTube gamers? Bonfire here, and welcome to another Gamecite. Today I'm bringing you a review of one of the newest games out there, Tomb Raider. As you can see here, I got the PS3 version, and if you haven't checked out my unboxing video, go ahead and check it out. I'll put a link in the description. But the reason why I got the PS3 version over the Xbox 360 version was because, for me, Tomb Raider will always be a PlayStation franchise. And I tend to play a lot of my single-player games on the PlayStation 3. I kind of see PlayStation as one of the best single-player consoles in the Xbox multiplayer. Now, not always true in all cases, but that's kind of how it goes. But let's get to it, our review of Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was released on March 5th of 2013, and this is a reboot of the franchise. It takes a look at the origins of Laura and what shaped her to be the awesome hero we know and love. The story begins with Laura and her crew that have set out on her first expedition to find the lost Japanese kingdom of Yamatai and the legendary shaman queen, Himiko. They encounter a deadly storm in which their ship is wrecked and Laura is separated from her crew and washed up on an unknown island. She sets off to find her crew and away off the island back home. However, she encounters some gruesome islanders and an unknown force that keeps them all stranded on the island. The story for this game is well told, but starts off a bit slow. It really begins to pick up during the second half of the game and does a great job of grabbing you and keeping you on the edge of your seat. The other characters that are a part of Laura's crew from the ship aren't developed as much, and you don't feel a connection to them without finding some of the hidden journals within the game. However, if you find these journals, it does a great job of making you care about some of those other characters. I really enjoyed this approach to the origins of Lara Croft. They showed her essentially lose her innocence as the game progresses, and watching her transform into the Laura we know is exciting and enjoyable. Also, seeing this softer side of Laura adds a sense of realism to the story. There's a scene within the game where she commits her first kill, and it shows the drama of that event and its toll on Laura. However, instead of progressing into a deadly survivor, you literally make that change within minutes from that scene. The premise of that pacing is the worst in the story, but the rest of the game easily makes up for it. The overall length of the game feels right for the story. You really feel that there's a beginning, middle, and climax at the end. The gameplay feels like a mix between the Uncharted series and Batman Arkham City. Regarding its movement, it's very easy to navigate the terrain. You run, climb, crawl, and duck as needed without any effort or additional button pressing. Climbing is the most similar to Uncharted as you navigate walls, rocks, ropes, and buildings. It's just as smooth, but they've added some button sequences during action scenes which add to the intensity of the moment. During combat or stealth sequences, you seamlessly crouch and take cover when you're by a wall or an item you can hide behind. Now, this isn't the snap to cover system that other games like Gears of War incorporate. This is smooth as you go in and out of cover just as you move around and navigate. You get a small selection of weapons that you can upgrade throughout the game, but the most fun is definitely the bow and arrow. There's just something that's satisfying when you pull back and release an arrow for a headshot and watch the enemy fly back. The rest of the shooting mechanics are similar to the feel of Uncharted's, and this is definitely not a bad thing as it works well within this game. You also get tools or gadgets that can help you reach areas that you weren't able to previously before. This is where some of the similarities to Batman Arkham City comes in which you can travel back to those areas and explore with the use of that new gadget. Not only can you upgrade your weapons to make them stronger and more effective, but you can actually level up and unlock abilities for several skill trees, such as the ability to retrieve arrows or scavenge more ammo. This makes exploring the areas and going for those stealth kills and headshots more worthwhile as you gain experience for completing such tasks. This experience allows you to level up and earn a skill point to spend on upgrades. Even though you are mostly confined to certain areas of the game, it really doesn't feel that way. The developers do a great job of keeping the game feel open and pressing on that urge to explore and discover relics, treasures, and documents. Now, this being a Tomb Raider game, hidden throughout it are tombs that have puzzles to solve and XP to gain. It's a good idea to explore these tombs because not only are they enjoyable, they're also worth some good XP for leveling up. The only thing that's wrong with the tombs is the length of them. They're short puzzles and you're left wanting more. One of the things most noticeable in this game is just how violent it is. You can kill your enemies in some gruesome ways, and you can unlock even more ways through skill points. Not only are the death of your enemies violent, but when you die it can be pretty violent as well. There are a lot of ways for Laura to die, and the most are pretty gruesome. The visuals also look fantastic in this game, and the most impressive is the lighting. From the moment you light up your first torch, you'll notice just how great the light and textures are. It's especially noticeable when exploring tombs and crawling in caves as you light the torch and use that light to explore. It really feels like you're a Tomb Raider exploring the unknown, and it creates a desire for more. Also looking good are the water effects. The ocean looks great as waves crash around you, and you explore different areas where you have to get your feet wet. Overall, the single-player campaign feels fantastic. This game tells a great story of the origins of Lara Croft, and is a well-done reimagining of the franchise. The gameplay is smooth, and combat is rewarding and fun. This game will leave you wanting more, and eager to see where Laura's adventures will take her. Now there is multiplayer in this game, and for obvious reasons not talked about much. The overall feel of it is similar to Uncharted 3, but not as polished. I experienced some initial connection issues and lag from the servers, but that eventually smoothed out as I played on. There are several game types to choose from, including Team Deathmatch, and a mode called Rescue, in which is basically a one-sided capture the flag where you have to recover medical supplies while the other team tries to stop you. You can create loadouts, which include 2 perks to choose from, and you can purchase upgrades from your weapons with the in-game currency. You will earn XP from everything you do, which leads you to level up and unlock more perks, weapons, and even new characters to play as. Movement and combat are not as smooth as Uncharted 3, though the concepts are similar. The maps are of good size for the gameplay, and there's multiple ways to navigate them, whether it's by climbing or exploring underground. Given all this, the worst part about the multiplayer are the load times between matches, and even more waiting to respawn after death. Those wait times really hinder on the overall experience. Now overall, the multiplayer is nothing special, but can be an entertaining experience if you can get over those wait times. The well done maps really hold it together, but the unimpressive gameplay and game types will unlikely pull you away from other big multiplayer titles. Now looking at the positives. It has an engaging story and added sense of realism. It has smooth and satisfying combat and player movement. The game's a good length that's fitting for the story and gameplay. You really get a sense of exploration within this game. It has a great combination of linear storytelling and open world feel. And it has well-designed multiplayer maps. Now looking at the negatives. The story pacing is inconsistent in the beginning. Tombs are too short, and I'd really like to see longer tomb sections with more to explore. It has unpolished multiplayer with long load times. Well, there you guys have it, the review of Tomb Raider. Drop a comment below and let me know what you guys think about the game. And if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. For more reviews and gameplays, be sure to subscribe to Gamecite. And until next time, guys, I'm Bonfire, and I'll see you online.